Hey everybody, welcome back to Cottonwood Hill Farms. So today, well, in this video, we got a bunch of fence we got to check. Our electric fence has been down. One of the main perimeter fence has been down for months. Well, I shouldn't say the whole fence, but about 3/4 of it from these main paddocks up here by the buildings, all the way down along the road, all the way back to Honeysuckle, which is the back road. There's been a ground somewhere for a couple months now, and I just haven't really messed with it because we haven't had cattle on it. And where I have had cattle on it, there's existing fence there. But anyway, so we've got a couple other issues with the fence around these paddocks closer to the barns too. So we're running around right now. We're trying to figure out where our grounds are at because it's grounding out in a couple different spots. So we're trying to figure that out, get this all straightened out, and get it up and running, because the dry cows now are starting to push the fence a little bit and get out. And before, they weren't worried. I wasn't worried about it because they weren't pushing the fence too hard, but now they are. So we got to get this figured out. That's one good thing about electric fence is it's cheap and it's easy. The bad thing is if you have existing fence, barbed wire, it's always getting caught on it. If the wind whips up, it seems like the barbed wire and the electric fence get wrapped around each other, and that it just happens all the time. So sometimes I feel like I just need to take out all the existing permanent fence and just stick in electric fence, because it's so much easier just to keep your electric fence running if it's by itself. But anyway, that's a whole lot of work, so we're not there yet. But we're gonna run around and we're gonna do some checking on some stuff and kind of figure out where we're at here. Right now we're down where we're keeping the bull at, and we're just checking this fence along the railroad tracks here, and then we got to go down and around up here and check this. It's grounding out somewhere down in here. It's not a direct ground because we still are, I think we're at 2.8 or something, or 3.0, somewhere in there. So we do have some juice, but it should be at like 6 or 7 is typically where we're at with the amount of fence that we got and how it usually works out. And then by the time you get to the back of the farm, when everything's running good, we're still usually at 5 to 5.5. So that's kind of what we're shooting for today, although we might not quite get that high just because there's so much overgrowth with the grass and the weeds and stuff, but we'll see what we find. Well, this is part of our problem. Sorry, did I get him?
Yes. Oh, you just stomped on him. Maybe. Yay! It's alive! Hi, Daddy Long Legs. Two Daddy Long Legs.
So somewhere along this fence line, we've got a short. Old Grumpy's here. And I think I see it. We're missing an insulator, it looks like. Yep. That's part of the problem right there. Come over here.
What's this?
Yeah, just pull right over here. Don't leave this when it's this hot. Don't leave it run. We're missing an insulator here, dude. So let's see what this does for us.
Why are you doing that?
Now we're jumping up. So we've had this fence in for a couple months now, separating this into a couple paddocks because I've been letting the bull graze over here a little bit. But I think what we're going to do, we're going to pull this fence out, and I think I'm going to come in here and cut this and bale this up. It's just a bunch of weeds, but again, this stuff can be used as bedding if I need it. And it needs to be, these weeds need to be cut and pulled out of here. That way any grass that is there that can grow might grow back. I don't know, once it cools off a little bit. All right, well, I took a little break in the shade here. I found a couple spots that was grounding out up there. And at the fencer, I think it's up to like almost 6, but out here I'm getting readings of like 4.1, 4.2, which I don't know, that's probably the best I'm gonna get at this point. I took Lakota back. He was getting too hot. It's a scorcher today. These next few days it's supposed to be really hot. I think today the heat index is supposed to get up to 103 or 104, something like that. But I'm going to I've got this fence here running up along the right of way, just this wire that I put up to connect. The problem I have, and I've talked about this before, is my main energized wire runs on that side of the farm, and on this side over here on the railroad tracks it stops right here, and I need to run a hot wire all along this side of the farm. That way I do the entire perimeter, and then I wouldn't have to worry about things like this. But what I was doing is, this is basically a jumper. I hooked on down here, ran it up along the fence, that way I could connect to this wire up here and get so I can make that hot too and get electricity up there. That way this wire up here can be hot as well, because my alleyway is always on that side for the most part, and because my alleyway is over there, I never have a way to get my juice across to the other side, because unless I want to put up some tall rods or something and string a wire across, which I really don't want to do that up above, because I do like to be able to drive the tractor and stuff through there. But so anyway, the four-wheeler is starting to get pretty hot actually, and it's starting to heat up. It was cloudy earlier, which was nice because it made it a little more bearable, but I noticed this four-wheeler is starting to get pretty warm, and it's got an exhaust leak. It's got an exhaust leak up front right off the manifold that blows on the engine, so that obviously doesn't help at all anyway. But I'm gonna run this other fence line real quick and just kind of check a couple things, and it looked like the cows were out back there, so I'm gonna mess with them, get them back in, and then I don't know, we'll kind of see where we go from there. But I'll probably have to take a break here shortly just because it's getting so hot. I don't want my machine to overheat, and then maybe come back out a little bit later this evening after I get done with chores and stuff. So right here, this is our field entrance here. When I unhook this gate, I'm good all the way back up to the farm, everything around this way. But the problem I'm having is from here back, there's a short somewhere, and I can't for the life of me find it. I've looked probably 4 different times and I've seen nothing. But you can see the arrow pointing, it's telling me it's that way. But I've never been able to find it. So we're going to attempt to see if we can find it again real quick. This wild cucumber is some nasty stuff. This crap just grows all over everything. I know it doesn't help having it on the fence, but to be honest with you, the only time it actually really affects the fence a whole lot is when it rains, which makes sense. But I'm still reading. I'm still reading 1.2, which that's about what I've been reading in the past anyway, even before all this vegetation was on the fence. So it's clearly not affecting it that much. But it keeps pointing me down this way, but then once I get over to the base of this hill here, the arrow goes away. And I've looked and looked all through here and I cannot find a short. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna have to get them moved here in the next probably a couple days for sure. We're just gonna rotate them back to the point back here. I got this hooked up. It's hot, and I've got it up to about 2, which is not perfect, but it's better than nothing. It should keep them in, that's for sure. But I still got a short. I don't know. I still got a short somewhere over here. But I'm just gonna have to walk the entire fence one of these days. I'll have to do it when it gets a little bit cooler this fall and figure out what the heck's going on. This valve keeps getting plugged in this tank. I need to This has got a bunch of algae and crap built up inside of it. I need to flush this tank out because what's happening now is it's flushing down through the hose and it's getting stuck in this little valve right here, and so I got to pull this off and get it cleaned out. Yeah, you can see all that green algae crap coming through, and then what it's doing is it'll get in here and plug that float. There we go. All right, well, it hasn't gotten quite as hot yet as they're saying. Not saying that it won't, but it's been kind of overcast, which is nice. And there's a little bit of a breeze. But I think what I'm gonna do next is, I wasn't planning on it, but because it's not quite as hot as I thought it was gonna be yet, I'm gonna run down with the tractor, and in this first little pasture right here, I'm gonna go ahead and mow that, cut that down, and get that laying. That way, over the next couple days, as I'm rolling everything else up, I can get that raked and rolled up as well, and get that out of the way. We got a visitor. Hi. He's back. So we got to adjust this real quick. I forgot I had it, this top link, I had it shortened up for when I was pulling the rake, but I've got to extend it out a little bit, because what happens is the mower, when you have this shortened up, it tilts the mower forward, and so it cuts closer to the ground. So what we need to do is we need to lengthen this a little bit so it tilts it back up, so I'm not cutting so close to the ground. Well, we got all that cut. That I don't know, there's a little more grass. Like everything I'm cutting right now, it doesn't look like there's a lot of grass in there. Once you get it laid down, there's more in there than you think. So glad we got that done. That take a couple days, dry out, and roll that up. But that's probably gonna do it for this one, guys. Thanks for coming along. We appreciate it. We appreciate all the support, like always. Don't forget to
like and subscribe.
And don't forget, you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Check us out over there if you get some time. If you like the content we're putting out, go ahead and share it with somebody. We'd really appreciate that. You guys take care, and we'll see you in the next one.